everyone. Welcome back. This is episode 3 of 4. It's Conversations with Finding Your Road Home. I'm Crystal, and this is Terri. And Terri is here from Infinite Synergy Wellness. And we're both here because we have a program coming in January, but really it's because we want to help you prepare and stay focused and stay ready for what is coming in January. And you don't have to like drill sergeant stay focused, but more like just keep those awarenesses there. We want to do some journal prompts and thinking and just keeping that awareness so that you're not doing that backslide that our kids do every summer. We want to make sure when we show up in January to take that standardized test of self-help that we're ready to go. Right, Terri?
That's so awesome. Yeah. We tend to go backwards a little bit, especially our moms. Most of us are moms, or, just busy people that are dealing with the holidays, and our self-care takes a backseat often. And then we try to create that momentum in January, and it's really hard to turn that train around. So the whole idea of this 4-part series is to get you guys, it's free, and to help you get on board with keeping your self-care at the forefront and actually preparing you mentally and energetically for what's happening in January, because you feel that energy in January. You feel it from everybody else. Everybody else is getting going. They're taking on New Year's resolutions, and you want to do it too, right? So this is the way. If you're the person who backslides after a couple of weeks, this is the way. Make it easy. So this particular week is week 3, and we are going to discuss setting energetic boundaries.
And it's beautiful that we're doing that after week 2, where we were out there being curious. And I bet a lot of you, while you were out there trying something new, might have gotten some energy from the people around you, like, why are you dancing like that through the aisles of the store? People are going to look at you. So that's an energetic boundary. So we just need to in our heads go, okay, you just don't understand. I love you in love and light. I'm just going to keep popping down the aisle because I don't care.
I love it. I love that.
So how can we, what can we do during this holiday time? Because we get together with family and there is so much of that energy out there. You would think that the people who love us best would be the least judgmental, when really they are the most, at least in my experience. I don't know about you.
Yes, often, well, these are the people that, are going to be the most honest with us. I think that a lot of people are judging others, and that's out of fear. And the people who love us the most are the ones that are going to probably put it into words. And of course, that can be more painful because of the people that we love the most and want to feel safe and loved around. And the big thing with this, and this is something that I learned just recently, actually. I don't know how I made it through life without knowing about energetic work, because it's made my whole life so much easier understanding this perspective. And for me, in particular, there was a situation that I was going through where someone that I love very, very much was having a very, very hard time. And there was just nothing I could do to help. Nothing. I just had to sit back and let this person consume their own negative energy that they were creating. And I realized through the help of a Reiki energy worker, my actual Reiki master, April, who just helped me realize that this person was calibrating me. Where I think that I'm this girl boss and I can do all the things, this person was calibrating me, and I was trying to come down to her level to help her. And I really couldn't help her from that level because we were both then just in a struggle, right? So creating an energetic boundary and understanding that that energy is hers, and I have to keep myself up here in order to be of any help. And then hopefully that energy, I can calibrate her and bring her up to my speed. And so this is just something that I think I need to write a book on. And I don't know if I've seen this somewhere subconsciously and there's already a book. I should probably Google this. But what I like to do when I'm struggling, and I learned it from this situation, is to ask, whose shit sandwich is this? Whose is this? Whose energy So the shit sandwich is the negative energy, just so you know, it's not a real sandwich. But that energy situation where being around people or being in a situation, especially in crowds or around, like you said, Crystal, people that are very, you know, we have enough emotion tied into them that they can calibrate us. Understanding that they've made their sandwich and let them consume it. No, thank you. This is yours. I don't want it.
I don't need to buy it. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm not going to consume that. And that can be with social media. It can be with TV. It could be with people. It could be with whose energy do you want to calibrate to. It can be with your partner. That happens a lot, right? Sometimes our partners struggle. It doesn't mean we toss them out. How do we create energetic boundaries? You know, don't make them wrong. It's there.
There's a whole practice around it. Codependency and all of the study around it. I mean, that's all that, you know, downright is.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And what does that, I mean, what does that look like? It's not for us to, that's a very deep conversation, but the whole purpose of this journaling or this exercise is just for us to understand energetic boundaries and create some around ourselves.
Yep. And it could be as simple as all of a sudden you came home from the grocery store and you're super like angry and cranky. And when you went to the grocery store, you were in a really great mood. And so all of a sudden when you're coming out, you're like, what? And that's one of those moments where, as odd as it sounds, you just need to say, okay, I don't know where this energy came from. I'm sorry. Love and light, I'm letting this energy go. And like maybe do a little push, maybe do a little cross across your chest and your legs a little, and wash on your arms with whatever, smudge if you're about smudging, but just let that energy go. Because it's not your shit sandwich. You're not supposed to be eating it. Someone was trying to give it to you while you were in the store. You may not even know that.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that. Kristen, do you want to speak a little bit more to energy and auras just for a moment? As how, like, as empaths, we are empaths. Everybody is an empath, but understanding being an empath is that we absorb other people's energy. And like even going into a store or a public place, I like to seal myself in holy white light, or just do a visual of coming from my navel up to my third eye, and just doing a zip, like picturing.
And if you're someone like me who forgets to do those things, because I'm an airhead, and so I can be forgetful about the things I need to do. So I carry crystals with me. And so if I go into certain situations and I think, oh, I'm going to need this extra little bounce, I just stick it in my purse or in my pocket or wherever. Sometimes I've even stuck them in my sports bra. And so that I have that little bit of extra, because I know I'm not great at remembering before I walk into the situation to seal myself. So whatever it takes, whatever makes you feel. So
Crystal's carrying something physical that helps her remember. Could be maybe you wear a necklace that helps you remember. Maybe it's, like I said, walking into a space. For me, sometimes I forget too, but as soon as I notice a negative thought or emotion in my mind, the first thing I do is go, oh, ground, clear, protect, clean, clear, delete, you know, like clear that energy. Solar plexus, you can picture a shield around your solar plexus, like, you know, like what's that movie 300 or Gladiator with the shield, picturing the shield over you. Just, even though that's a physical thing, what we're doing is we're calibrating ourselves emotionally the way we want to be calibrated with our conscious mind, as opposed to subconsciously allowing negativity in. And that could be from something physically spoken or something you feel. If you've ever walked into a room that, you know, has tension in it, we all emit energy. And so if we're not protecting ourselves from others' emissions, then what? And so it could be physical. It could be that. It could be a person you know doing something at you.
And this is going to sound, you know, some of you may think this sounds a little crazy, but we're energy. So light is the electromagnet. I was a former science teacher, so I taught for 25 years. and my background was science. So, so light, the physical, what we see is part of the electromagnetic spectrum, but that's only the very super tiny part of the electromagnetic spectrum is what we see. So there's all of these other energy waves out there, and we experience all of them, and they are everything has them, like all the way out into space. So you might see news articles sometimes about how solar, how those big things sort see, I'm a science teacher. Yeah, solar flare, thank you. Sometimes the words, I can't get them. So a solar flare is coming out, and that might impact our cellular service. Think about that. So if it impacts our cellular service, what is a solar flare doing to your body? Because it's energy movement. I'm not saying it's anything
and we
bad.
Can't see that.
I'm just saying that there's stuff out there that's impacting us that we don't know what it is. And there are people who, one of the things from the January course that I hope to do is expose you to options of different ways that people look at different things, because I don't think any one answer is the right way. I think there's whatever, everybody sees color different. And so there's that many variations of color. It's that way with everything, it's perception. And so I want to expose folks to those different options because it allows us to give people grace so that we can release that shit sandwich. We don't have to worry about them anymore. We can let it go in that love and light. We give them grace, but we also give ourselves grace, because the more we learn about other people, the more we can reflect on ourselves, because it's always a mirror. What you're noticing out there is something that you're supposed to be noticing. Like, it's you, what you're noticing.
Yes.
I may have gone
beautiful.
too deep.
No, I think that's amazing. I think that's amazing. Thank you for explaining that from a science perspective of understanding that we are all energy. And there's energy out there we can't see, but that we can perceive that our bodies are being affected by. And so once again, setting energetic boundaries. It could be when you journal, you can journal about this, or you can just call a friend and go for a walk and talk about it. That's what Crystal and I do. We don't really sit down and journal. We talk to each other and process that way. And that's just processing, right? And acknowledgement. But I do recommend journaling if you can do it. If you can't, this is another option. Crystal mentioned maybe recording yourself just talking about it. You know, there's options. You have ways that there's more than one way to, more than one path to the same summit, right?
And maybe
so
you don't want to. Maybe you don't want to record it on camera. You can also use the voice recorder on your phone. Just saying, option.
Yep, option.
Keep going.
I love that. Yeah, it may speak to you, it may not, right? It might be easier for you to journal. Some people are afraid to write things down because they don't want someone else to read it. I get that. That's where it works great for me to just talk to Crystal. I just call her and we talk and we process things that way. So finding like-minded people, creating community. And so for this week, your assignment is to journal about setting an energetic boundary and then practice it. So it's going to happen, right? Like, things happen in life when we're interacting with other people, or even our pets. You know, like if you've ever seen somebody who has a dog that misbehaves all the time, there's an energetic boundary issue there, right? No judgment, guys. Don't come at me and I'm not saying you're a bad dog parent. I'm just saying there's an energetic boundary issue. The dog thinks it's the boss over you if it's trying to dominate you. It's just the way it is. And how do you fix that? I don't know. I'm not a dog whisperer. Called Caesar. But my point is, how do we set energetic boundaries? It could be with your pets. It could be with your loved ones. It could be with your spouse who's sleeping right next to you, who's emitting certain energy. How do you set energetic boundaries yourself? Like you said, talking about playing clear the lead, crystals, not Crystal, or my girl. I'm pointing at her because she's here on my camera. Not Crystal, but using crystals. You could even reach out to us and ask us for more ideas or give us some scenarios. We will be doing some Instagram posts on that. And once again, this one is a huge one in terms of what I do in my field of expertise, which is fitness and wellness. Energetic boundaries around food and around the people you live with and around exercise are huge. I've seen women quit programs because their husbands didn't want to come with them. in their, like, what if I get really thin and my husband's still really, how would we still be together? Or what will we eat? Because he eats this and I eat that. Setting energetic boundaries around that are the key to sticking to your plan.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. I love it. So keep watching us on Instagram. We'll be doing some posts on that. Looking forward to seeing you guys.
Yep. And next week, we are going to talk about the last topic, which is a big one. It is a big one. It really is. I think everything has been building into it. So for week 4, we're going to talk about free will. And really, honestly, what mindset are you putting out there? Are you using a victim story or are you thriving? And so I'm super excited about this one and the ways that we can talk about helping folks kind of work through that and different options for processing, because it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be simple.
Very good. Awesome.
All right.
Well, thanks guys for joining.
See you next week.
See you next time.